What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So now the question is being raised as undefeated welterweight superstar, title contender, Jaron Boots Ennis, who is now 30 wins, no losses, no draws, 27 wins by way of knockout. He is 25 years of age, 5'10" with a 74-inch arm reach. He faced off against a Ukrainian boxer by the name of Chukhadzhian, okay? And nobody knew who Karen Chukhadzhian was, not even Jaron Boots Ennis, nor his father, trainer, manager, Bozy Ennis. Nobody was familiar with this fighter out of the Ukraine. One thing about the Ukraine is that fighters stay in the amateurs extremely long, okay? An extensive period of time, fighters stay in the amateurs, and they gain a lot of experience. So their resume as a professional doesn't always reflect what they've done in the amateurs or how much experience or how good they are, okay? It just doesn't reflect that. And so from the footage that I've witnessed from said particular fighter, I thought that Jaron Boots Ennis' style and skill set would match up perfectly, and he would stop Karen Chukhadzhian, right? Karen Chukhadzhian, he came into the fight 21 wins, 1 loss, no draws, okay? 11 wins by way of knockout, 26 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 70-inch arm reach, okay? And so his resume, majority of the fights that I've witnessed and seen him have, was in European fights, right? Not big name fights, not rough and rugged fights. Not fights with guys that you knew and are very familiar with. Not fights that most people can identify. You just couldn't do it. And but the fights that I did see was on a lower level, and I thought Jaron Boots Ennis would get a second round stoppage. Okay, I was wrong. And what he did best, Karen Chukhadzhian, was his foot movement was very educated, okay? And what gets understated in the sport of boxing is foot movement. The most important things, in my opinion, in the sport of boxing is the jab and foot movement, okay? And he had very educated feet, okay? Very quick feet, great stamina. He was moving a lot, and he wasn't staying for Jaron Boots Ennis to pinpoint him and stop him. Now, if you look at the history of Ukrainian fighters, Viktor Postol, you look at Vasyl Lomachenko, you look at Alexander Usyk, you look at, these Ukrainian fighters, they have great foot movement, okay? And so Jaron Boots Ennis, he came across a guy that had great foot movement, great stamina, and great energy. Yet Jaron Boots Ennis, he won every single round, okay? It wasn't like he was in a competitive fight. He won every single round. It was just difficult for him he didn't cut the ring off. I thought he could have stepped to his left, stepped to his right, and cut the ring off better. But when you're fighting a guy with educated foot, great stamina, and on top of that, is able to, survive, is looking to survive. He's experienced. He's a difficult out, okay? Vasyl Lomachenko gets nothing but praise and credit for being a matrix for his footwork. Alexander Usyk in the heavyweight division get nothing but praise and credit for his footwork. There's a such thing that maybe we just didn't know how great footwork that Karen Chukhadzhian had, okay? And it shocked many people. It shocked Jaron Ennis. And on top of it, he came to survive. So when you have that, you consider Lomachenko the matrix because of his footwork. High praise. Alexander Usyk, pound for pound, best fighter in the world. Some people have him because of his footwork, his athletic ability, right? Viktor Postol was the boogeyman because of his footwork, his fundamentals, and his jab. So it's a such thing as just maybe Karen Chukhadzhian we just wasn't familiar with, and he shocked the world. But he still lost every single round to Jaron Boots Ennis. So now the question is continues to get raised, and I see a lot of people in my inbox and a lot of people reaching out to me, and they're saying that because of my high praise and the ceiling that I have, in my opinion, my views, and the way my perspective of Jaron Boots Ennis is, people are saying he got exposed. He's overrated. And more importantly, he's going to get knocked out and stopped by undefeated, unified, 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 2, if not number 1, definitely top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world, and Errol the True Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is 28 wins, no loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach, an undefeated 3-division world champion, who former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO, World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the number 1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is 39 wins, no losses, no draws. He is 30 wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. So with that said, many people are saying that, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence will stop that version of Jaron Boots Ennis. Here's the problem that we have within the sport of boxing, is that we fail to realize and recognize we have way too many casual fans, where social media allows casual fans the ability to voice their opinion, which is okay. But it just becomes a narrative, and you have more casuals than hardcore fans, and it starts to pick up momentum and steam, and it starts to become reality, right? Where you have a guy and a legend, a retired, iconic Hall of Fame superstar boxer by the name of Floyd Mayweather Jr., who's 50 wins, no losses, no draws, 27 wins by way of knockout, stood at 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach. Floyd Mayweather is arguably the greatest boxer in the history of sport of boxing. He's fought and beat more world champions than anybody in the history of sport of boxing. If you ask Floyd Mayweather who was his toughest opponent to date, he's going to tell you it goes by the name of Emmanuel Augustus, okay? Not the Hall of Famers. Emmanuel Augustus is not a Hall of Famer. He's not a legend in the sport of boxing, okay? He's well known within the sport of boxing, but he's not a legend in the sport of boxing, okay? He had multiple losses by the time Floyd Mayweather fought him. He finished his career with 38 wins, 34 losses, 6 draws, and 5 times in his career he was knocked out, okay? 38 wins with 34 losses and 6 draws, okay? This is the guy that Floyd Mayweather deems as his toughest opponent, okay? Now you look at this, okay, and this was Floyd Mayweather where he was 23 wins, no losses, no draws. So this was the midway point of his career, okay, midway point of Floyd Mayweather's career, and he got a 9th round TKO victory over Emmanuel Augustus, the Drunken Master, as he goes by. By the time he fought Floyd Mayweather, he had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 losses. 1, 2, 3, and 5 draws. Okay? He had 16 losses and 4 draws by the time he fought Floyd Mayweather. 16 losses and 4 draws by the time he fought Floyd Mayweather, right? And he gave Floyd Mayweather his toughest loss, his toughest fight of his career, right? Not Manny Pacquiao, 8-division iconic legend, Hall of Famer, first ballot. Not Canelo Alvarez, who's the undisputed 4-division champion and only has 2 losses on his resume and is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not Sugar Shane Mosley, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not Oscar the Golden Boy De La Hoya is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not Ricky Hatton, who's a Hall of Famer. Not Diego Corrales, who's a Hall of Famer. Some of the names that you can identify. Hall of Famers, first ballot Hall of Famers. Not Gennaro Hernandez, first ballot Hall of Famer. Not Miguel Cotto, first ballot Hall of Famer. No, Emmanuel Augustus, okay? So sometimes there's a guy that you may not be familiar with that gives you your toughest fight of your career. That doesn't mean that Jaron Boots Ennis is going to fight Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, and undefeated welterweight superstar Mexican title contender Virgil Ortiz, who's 19 wins, no loss, no draw, 19 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. Not Virgil Ortiz. That doesn't mean that he's going to fight Virgil Ortiz, Errol Spence, and Terence Crawford in the same manner. It's not going to look the same. This is what we have to do in the sport of boxing. We have to educate ourselves. When Floyd Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez and Diego Corrales, those are some of the easiest wins of his career compared to Emmanuel Augustus and DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley. DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley is not a Hall of Famer. A very good fighter, well-known fighter, but he's not a Hall of Famer. Neither is Emmanuel Augustus. Okay? These are the guys that gave Floyd Mayweather the toughest fights of his career. And they're not Hall of Famers, right? Because many people don't understand the sport of boxing. Many people don't understand how styles make fights. DeMarcus Corley, 52 wins, 34 losses, and 1 draw. So Floyd Mayweather, 2 opponents that gave him the toughest fight of his career, have a combined record with 70 plus losses in their careers. Emmanuel Augustus has 34 losses and DeMarcus Corley has 34 losses. Combined, they have 64 losses with 7 draws. And those are the fighters that gave Floyd Mayweather the toughest fight of his career. So to suddenly think that you watch this fight with Chukhadzhian against Jaron Boots Ennis, to think that Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, and Virgil Ortiz is suddenly going to knock out Jaron Boots Ennis. I even hearing people saying that former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who was the unified WBC, WBA welterweight champion, Keith one-time Thurman, who is 34 years of age, who has a record of 30 wins, 1 loss, no draws, with 22 wins by way of knockout, 5'8" with a 69-inch arm reach. Now, Keith Thurman is a problem and a nightmare for Jaron Boots Ennis because of his movement. Prior to this fight, everybody thought that Boots Ennis would stop Keith Thurman within 5 rounds. And Keith Thurman would never fight Jaron Boots Ennis. He was the boogeyman. Now you watch a fight where he won every single round against a guy who came to survive and had extraordinary footwork. A guy that because you wasn't familiar with him, now Jaron Boots Ennis is going to lose to all these guys. We have to educate ourselves in the sport of boxing. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all in one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.